Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our monthly membership meeting. Good to see you all again. We've got a really big show for you today. What was that guy's name? I'm just dating myself, so we'll just pass that one up. Ed Sullivan, that's it. For those of you who remember him, don't admit it. Okay. Anyway, good to have you all here. Is there anyone new who would like to introduce themselves?
I want to introduce myself. This is the first time on this meeting here. My name is Henry Gomez, and I'm here representing Sun Street Center's Hope Housing.
Great, good to have you, Henry.
My name is Rick Diaz. I'm from Castroville, North County area my whole life. I got invited to this meeting by Wes. I also am a trustee for the North Monterey County Unified School District, and I sit on Community Human Services board, Community Human Services. I'm glad I got invited. I've been trying to, attend a meeting for a long time, and thanks. I'm eager to learn how to help.
Great, good to have you, Ricardo. Lisa.
Hi, good morning. My name is Lisa Griffin Burns, and I've been meaning to attend these meetings more regularly, especially as I work directly with Greg Baker. I'm the board president of Community Homeless Solutions, and look forward to the meeting and starting to attend more regularly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. Jeremy.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jeremy Holt. I'm representing VRSI Marina. We provide veteran services to the homeless community under the HVRP grant. I believe it's my first time in the meeting as well. I thank you very much for the invite.
I'm Regina Williams, and I'm a program director for the Chinatown Navigation Center. I work for Community Homeless Solutions, and this is my first time being in the meeting.
Yes, good morning. My name is William Gomez, and I'm the administrative coordinator for CHSP. I just wanted to say it's a pleasure to meet you all and glad to be here.
All right, very good. Let's move along to public comment. Does anybody have any comments? If so, raise your hand, please.
Wes Wyatt, Salinas Monterey County Homeless Union co-president, also on the LEAD committee, Lived Experience Advisory Directive, NAACP political action chair. God, I'm gonna waste all my time. Just wanted to throw it out there. I was not aware of the county passing the thing on January 28th, but it sounded like a good thing for an encampment resolution policy. I guess I'm just kind of concerned. I was worried about the 72-hour notice because without it being business days, and it's basically, we're just going to chop your head off anyway. We're just giving you 3 days to know it. But where do they go? If we drive them out of there, where do they go? And what services will be provided for them? When shelter in place was happening, which is, also part of our encampment resolution policy, but that's only after a notification of a sweep. And will a jurisdiction allow the mitigation of the issues if trash is the big deal? Can we just take out the trash and leave people's belongings? On February 8th, Salinas did a sweep in Chinatown without a posted notice on 10 and 12 Soledad Street and up and down Soledad Street. That's illegal. February 11th, we went and complained. David Bausch from Closer Walk Ministries probably made the most impact because he's an attorney. And then 2 days later, on the 13th, it's raining, and the city come by on Bridge Street and take away everybody's possessions again without a posted notice. So what is the coalition going to do to make sure that their partners are being good partners? And help me stop the sweeps. Thanks.
All right. Well, a part of that at least is being addressed in our solution set, Wes. So let's stay tuned and see what that does. All right. So we'll move along to my comments. I've just got a few this morning. Just wanted to mention the obvious, which is we're living in a fairly tumultuous time here. As I was saying, we're living in fairly tumultuous times. A lot going on. It's hard to know, which way things are going to go. But I know one thing. is we can do the best job we can do, and we can rally behind the homeless problem as a community. And I think that's the best way for us to go and the best way for us to focus right now. I'm really encouraged and heartened by the great work that the working groups are doing on the solution set. And I look forward to hearing those updates today. Okay, so we're going to go to membership updates. Now, we haven't done this in a while because we've been, very focused on the solution set, as you know.
So, Evangeline Ochoa with Community Human Services. Just to start off, CHS has a variety of open positions, support counselors, counselors, clinicians, and others as well. Anyone interested can go to our website and find the job descriptions under careers. Our youth shelter, Safe Place Monterey, is doing very well currently. We are closed on Fridays and Saturdays due to being short staffed, while we hire a new support counselor one to be able to open 7 days a week. So we're hoping that'll be soon. We do have new bunk beds. It makes the place look a lot nicer. It's also boosted our youth's morale. So we're really excited about that. Safe Passage will be going through some remodeling soon. We had 4 youth move out to permanent housing, which we're excited, and we're working to fill those open beds. We have hired a new case manager / housing navigator specifically for Safe Passage. I want to say she started at the end of January or the beginning of this month. Her name is Michelle Campa, who comes with 7 years of experience working in social services, and she's doing great. Our street outreach programs for Monterey Peninsula, Salinas Valley, and South County have been doing amazing work. They currently have about just over 49 clients in total. Our outreach team just last month housed 10 youth. 3 went to transitional housing, 5 to permanent housing, and 1 had reunified back with family, and then 1 went into emergency shelter. And that's just last month. This month they've been putting in requests, and they're getting it done. So we're excited to see our youth get into permanent housing. Our Youth Navigation Center, our Salinas Safe Place Youth Navigation Center is doing well. Our SVSOP outreach team is spread the love this month for Valentine's. They had a little pop-up tent in Chinatown passing out spaghetti and stuff, so it was really nice. So they try to do that every holiday. And I believe they gave out a bunch of Bomba socks that were donated to CHS. I can't remember the exact number, but I know it was in the thousands. Casa de Noche Buena, our census right now is 22 with only 1 family room left to fill. And we are fully staffed as of today for the first time since September of 2024. So I know Elsa's really excited. Last month, they housed a single woman to permanent housing and another to transitional housing. Here at Schumann Hart House, we have census of 30 and are working to fill 1 family room and 2 single women beds. In January, we housed 2 single women. In December, I want to say we housed 3 families that we had, and then the 2 single women did go to permanent housing. This month, we also housed 2 single women into permanent housing. We have 1 receiving her keys later today for her new apartment, so that'll keep us busy for today. And then lastly, for Share Center, the Share Center is doing good, moving along. We hired our program coordinator, Catherine Burrell, I think that's her last name. I might be chomping it a little bit, so she's doing really good. We have a census of 68 with the following beds open: 7 for female, 11 for males, 1 family room. And our staff are working really hard to go through our wait list, which has been significantly cleaned up. For accuracy, in December, the wait list was at 193 for single male, 86 for single female, and 183 for families with children. And then in the last month, we had 5 move into permanent housing and 1 had a family reunification. And then the last thing is we do have 6 cots through April available for the inclement weather. So just be on the lookout for that. They just need to call a Share Center to get all those. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, All right, thanks, Evangelina. You have a lot saved up for us.
It's been a while.
All right, let's go to Alexa.
Good morning, everybody. Alexa Johnson here from Housing Resource Center. We just received our check from MC Gibbs, and we have an additional $23,000 that we are going to be using for our Landlord Gold Standard program. So we'll be able to leverage it with some of the funds that some of our other contract holders also provide for their specific clients. We're hiring for a new case manager and finance manager. We might have had our case manager already picked out, so we're hoping that they'll be able to start early March, but are still looking for a finance manager, and so that position is posted on Indeed. We have a barbecue event fundraiser in June, which I'll share the flyer as we get closer. Just trying to help raise some more money for our landlord programs. We have been working with Henry and Hope Housing for our housing workshops, and every Thursday, HRC is hosting a housing workshop for the Hope Housing residents, going through budgeting and then also filling out sample applications. On the fourth Thursday of every month, we're doing a resource fair, trying to help those residents see how they can leverage some of their funds that they're saving up, their rent that they're saving for future housing, with some other maybe housing programs that are available, permanent supportive housing, or just kind of help with move-in costs. So if that's something that any of your agencies would be interested in joining us, feel free to email me. I'll put my email in the chat. But we're looking for all agencies who might be interested in joining our resource fair. We do have community benefits joining us next Thursday, which I'm really excited about, and just trying to help folks get connected to maybe additional benefits they might qualify for. So I think it's going to be a really beneficial event for Hope Housing. And I'd like to just give a shout out to, even though my staff's not here, we have 100 cases on hand currently, but in the past 4 weeks or so, we have housed 13 families, which is a high amount for us. So I'm just giving my team a little shout out because I'm really proud of the hard work we're doing. We're getting some really big families, even programs that aren't necessarily family specific. They've had families, and so it's been challenging to try to help accommodate those needs. So other than that, we're really just chugging away and excited to be here with you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexa. Congratulations on your housing numbers. Those sound great. All right, let's see. Kurt's had his hand up for a while.
Thank you, Greg. Kurt Shockey with Veterans Transition Center. In the month of January, VTC provided 3,414 bed days to homeless veterans and their families. We are at 97% occupancy across 4 housing programs. But the biggest news is we opened Light Fighter Village. The first residents moved in on the 3rd of February. That will add 70 permanent supportive housing units to our project. So the project is located in Marina on VTC property, and I'd be very delighted to provide tours to anyone who would like to see it. So please give me a call or send me a note, and I'll be happy to take you and your team around to show you how we partnered and built affordable housing in Marina. Thank you.
Wow, congratulations, Kurt, on Light Fighter. That's great. Very impressive. Okay, let's go to Henry Gomez.
Just a shout out to HRC, and I want to encourage anybody that wants to participate in any of the agencies in the coalition. The last Thursday of the month, it's really significant to our residents, so it's encourages to see what's going on and taking place, the resource fair that we have here. An update as far as Hope Housing, we have 55 units in total. 34 of those are occupied. There's 21 units available. There's 76 residents being serviced. 25 are women, 26 are men, adults, and then 25 children as well. And this is very encouraging for us. We've hit the goals for the first year there that under our contract, so we're keeping on moving along with this, and I'm looking forward to report the next time with an increase.
All right, thank you, Henry. Let's see, Gina at Cecil has had her hand up for a while.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Gina with CISO. Just a quick update on where we are. We are happy to announce that we got selected to get a TBI grant, Traumatic Brain Injury Grant, through the State Department of Rehab. So we will have the grant for the next 3 years, and we potentially 1 more year extension. So anyone that has a brain injury is welcome to come. We have support groups. We do case management, housing, navigation, and financial assistance under the TBI as well. We also have some funding available for anyone that is HIV positive. So if you know anyone that might need a financial assistance, secure deposit, or they're behind on their rent, we can help them with short-term if they're HIV positive. So you can send that referral to us, and we will get in contact with them and schedule an intake appointment, and we can pay, for any rental arrears that they might have, either HIV positive. That's it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Gina. All right, Jill, you've been very patient.
Well, thank you, Greg. Good morning, everybody. Jill from Dorothy's Place. Quick update from us. First of all, congratulations to HRC. That's a tremendous effort in getting people housed. I wish our numbers were as good as yours. They're not, but they're getting close. So we're happy about that as well. It's always wonderful to see people that need housing getting into permanent housing. We closed our MC Gifts campaign at just under $154,000 this year, which was the best we've ever done. So we're really, really super grateful to the Community Foundation and the Monterey County Weekly and all the sponsors that helped with that. They're making a tremendous impact all over our community. I should like to announce that we are moving our clinic. Dorothy's Place has had a Wednesday afternoon health clinic at Dorothy's for over 40 years. A number of doctors, but usually we get doctors that like to stay for a couple of decades before they turn over the banner to someone else. In this case, it's Dr. Mark Tunzi and Dr. John Clark. Dr. Tunzi is with Natividad and operates out of their Laurel Family Clinic. Dr. Clark operates out of a number of East Salinas Valley Health and also, I think, part-time at Natividad. They are moving over to the health clinic at the Share Center. And we're hoping to get the word out to all the residents that are there, that these are folks that are very experienced what they deal with. They're bilingual, they're easy to talk to. And so we've got little videos going over there to get people familiar. And we're going to see if we can strike up the enthusiasm for a Wednesday clinic over at the Share Center. We are also gaining community support in Chinatown for operating interim supportive housing here in the neighborhood, which has been kind of a bone of contention. The people in the neighborhood, largely uninformed about what we were doing, were believing that this was going to bring more homeless people into the Chinatown area here in Salinas, when in fact what we're attempting to do is to interim house people that are already in our service here so that we can get them up off the streets and onto permanent supportive housing. So we're really pleased that we're beginning to gain support on that now. We're also beginning to upgrade our drop-in center a bit. It's gotten a bit worn out over the last couple of years because we are opening our new behavioral health peer support unit there. We're attempting to create a space where people are comfortable to come in and discuss their addiction and mental health issues with our peer support specialists who are currently in the 80-hour state training for state certification. And they're really enjoying it, and they're already starting to take on the caseload. So we're super, super happy about that. And thanks for letting me spout off about what we're doing at Dorothy's Place.
Thank you, Jill. All sounds wonderful. All right, let's go to Anthony.
Hey, everyone. Update from San Benito County. We've launched our homelessness message line, which is a great way for our community members to let us know when they see encampments, and then we bring outreach. we're looking for more engagement from the community there. So today we're actually filming a video to promote it, and hopefully that'll get out on social media, spread the word a little bit. But in the meantime, we've actually got outreach from Titanium Healthcare, an ECM provider that's getting established in San Benito. So it's been very useful in that regard. Our program focus has been placing families and disabled individuals into the HSP and HHAP programs, respectively. We're also revamping policies and guidelines. I'm new, so I'm taking a new perspective on some of the old guidelines we've had. So we're revamping, for instance, our emotional support animal policy, things like that. But our internal staff is focused on increasing communication with case management through Home Resource Center. We're looking at creating a new customer service feedback mechanism to make sure our clients are getting the services that they need the way they need it. And I want to shout out the solution set groups because I feel like it's been super instrumental to get all of that done. We've talked about so many issues, and I'm in a couple of different teams, but from the case management, to all the little bits and pieces around outreach to permanent supportive housing placement. I've found that those solution set groups have been just a really great way to brainstorm. And so that's our update. I'm sure I'll transition into the next agenda item where we get into all that.
Yeah, thank you, Anthony. We'll look forward to your update coming up shortly. Okay, Donna.
Good morning, everybody. So Donna Smith, Monterey County Office of Education. So just a few announcements. First of all, we're having our human trafficking symposium. We are planning this with lots of community partners. That's going to be May 15th. So save the date, and I'll get more information out to you as far as the agenda and where we're going to be having that. It looks like we're probably having it at the Steinbeck Center, which is also in Salinas City Center. But anyway, May 15th, that's coming up. Don't forget to register for the Lead Me Home Conference. Putting in a plug for that, April 17th. Also, we just opened up a new program here called the Connections Program. It's part of my department as well, and that's our ECM and Community Supports Program. We have hired 2 case specialists that will be reaching out to families. Our target population, of course, is homeless children and youth, foster youth, and justice-involved youth. So anyway, some exciting things. We also have a housing program, housing for kids, and we have been able to house, I don't know, maybe 10 families or so in the last couple months. Plus, we are also offering support for families who are being evicted. And we've been able to help quite a few families with that program as well, thanks to some very nice people that have been donating to the program. So anyway, that's it. Hey.
Great. Lots going on there. Thank you, Donna. Okay, Sophie, thank you for your patience. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Akir, and I work at Interim Inc. Just wanted to remind everyone that our Omni Resource Center, which is at 339 Pajaro, has Fun Fridays every Friday, starting at noon with lunch that is available for all, and then there are activities afterwards. So please let your clients and your constituents know. Like others mentioned, we're also grateful to the to Community Foundation for the MC Gives campaign. This was our best year in that campaign. We have a request to everyone here. If you encounter anyone who you suspect has a serious mental health condition, please enter them into the HMIS system. Please complete a VI SPDAT for them. We have 6 vacancies, and we've basically gone through everyone in HMIS who has been referred to us, so we need more clients. And then you can also call the Macomb team. They can do an assessment. If they actually meet criteria, they can then hopefully get into our housing. Lastly, this is ways out, but Friday, May 30th, we have our annual Mental Health Services Award ceremony at the Embassy Suites during the day.
Nice to get back in touch with a number of you. we're going to go to the Solution Set Working Group updates. So we'll start with you, Katrina, on the Advanced Communication and Notifications Group.
Yeah, I'll try to be really fast. So our group has met 2 times so far. We've been having a really hard time scheduling, but we'll be meeting right after this meeting and have been really digging deep into the kind of the policies around Monterey and San Benito County and building those connections. I have a great team with me, and Caroline, part of our lead Lived Experience Advisory Board directive, has provided me with templates to start reaching out to our community members, public and private entities that might administer encampment suites. So I'll be starting to send those out and try to get some face-to-face meetings with them and start building relationship. We're in the relationship building process right now. So shout out to my team for showing up consistently and taking on some work on top of all the work that they do.
We'll move on to the filter availability system. That's Donna.
Right now we're looking at all the different shelters and have created a spreadsheet. And I am going to be, I've shared that with some of you, but we do need some organizations to help us out and respond. So basically what we've done is we've listed all the shelters that we're aware of, no matter what kind. Some are transitional, domestic violence, navigation centers, etc. And what we need to do is we need to have this information filled out. It tells us how many beds, rooms, or units you have available, if CARS is required, if there's a referral form or phone screening form, immigration status, is that something that you look into or have no requirements? But the 2 we're looking at right now is the waiting list. Do you have a waiting list for this particular shelter? And also, if we were to have an emergency, the number of beds you might have available, and this would be due to sweeps or a natural disaster. And if it's 0, just put 0. So anyway, Greg, I've already contacted you for CH Solutions. And then Evangelina is doing Community Human Services Shelters. Dorothy's, Evangelina, you're reaching out probably to Jill. And then Interim. Kurt, would that be you that would fill in this information for Interim?
It would be me. It's Sophie. But we don't have any shelters.
Okay. So Sandy Shores, all
those are permanent supportive housing places.
Can you fill out the information for that as well?
Yes, I can correct this and fill it out.
So you don't have, it's not transitional, it's permanent supportive housing, correct? For all of them?
No, not all of them, but most of them, yes.
Okay. And then Salvation Army, I need somebody to fill that out. Frederickson, Phase 2, and Casa de las Palmas. Is there anybody on this call that can fill that information out?
We don't have them on the call, but Donna, what we can do is provide you with our housing inventory count that we report to the federal government annually. We're going to have an update on that shortly, but it should have all of this information, and then whatever else you're missing, then I think you would have to go directly to. So Ashley Cobell would be for Salvation Army, or you can reach out to Jennifer Miller from Salvation Army.
All right. So I just need a contact from these agencies to be able to share this with, to make sure that this information is correct. And then, of course, YWCA, Victory Mission, and Sunstreet Centers for Hope Housing. So maybe in the chat, because I don't want to take too much time, if your organization has any kind of shelter/housing, please put your information in the chat so I can contact you and get you on this spreadsheet. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Donna, for that update. It's a lot of tedious work to get this thing ready. But I think once all that good work is done, it'll be a great system. Thank you. All right, let's see, where are we? We are at the emergency shelter response. That's Regina.
The team has met twice. We added a new team member for information on San Benito County. We've identified that there is a need for more shelters and divided the shelters into the temporary shelters, which would be something similar to FEMA tents or pop-ups for housing purposes, and then shelters similar to the one I run and the one in San Benito and the Sheriff Center that have long-term services. We talked about definitely the reduced barrier, no barrier format, and keeping away from what is considered to be institutionalized or sterile environments for them to come into and adapt. We've discussed the case management handle and relationships with the current caseworker and the previous case manager so that we can get them a smooth transition to services, offering case management with them, assigning case managers to work with them both in the temporary shelters versus the emergency shelter environment. And then we are currently looking for resource lists to provide to the clients as they come in so that they have access to partnering agencies and can, once we get them moved into permanent housing, then they can have support from other agencies and partners that will help them stabilize once they move in. That's where we are right now.
Very good. Thanks, Regina. I'm really glad to hear that you and the others are all looking not just at your modules, but at the interfaces between your module and the other modules. That is really important. And so much of this, I think, lies in the interfaces working efficiently. That's really good to hear. All right, let's move to permanent supportive housing, and that's Anthony.
Hey everyone, we also really wanted to start off by sharing our insights with other teams that would value them. So our first meeting, we kind of just looked at the entire pathway to permanent supportive housing, and then shared some of our insights about the early parts of that process around outreach, the essential elements that make housing placement better. And then Katrina, I think while you were out, I sent you a message around maybe touching base about how we can streamline the referral process. So if you can dig that email up, or I can maybe follow back up with you. But other than that, we moved on to goals 2, 3, and 4. We've got a permanent supportive housing case manager on our team who could speak to her experiences. And so we kind of just brainstormed what we could do to address some of those issues, and then we assigned and divided and conquered. So I'm taking on a tracking tool for managing housing inventory. That's for goal 3. Our permanent supportive housing case manager is drafting an assessment tool for applicants to assess their independence and activities of daily living. So that's for goal 4. And then Paola and Cindy are tackling goal 5. Paola is taking over developing best practices for case management, and Cindy's going to help us standardize retention services. So we actually, our next meeting, our third meeting, we decided to take it to 90 minutes so we could review in depth all the work everyone's done. And that's it for us.
Great. Thank you, Anthony. Great stuff. Great stuff.
Thanks.
All right, let's go back to you, Katrina, for the outreach presentation.
Yes. So for outreach, right now that team, it looks like that team is really different, like separating the types of outreach teams. So I'm remembering that, there's some outreach teams that go into encampments, through the woods, underneath the bridges, and there's some encampments that do more of like tabling events and kind of not so in-depth outreach, in the trenches type outreach. So right now we're really trying to go through those teams to identify what are those outreach teams that go in the trenches. And right now, what I think we have is Interim McCombs team, Downtown Streets team, Salinas Outreach, the SORT team, and then looking into St. Vincent de Paul, ASN, and if there's any other outreach teams that literally goes into the trenches, if you could please give us that information. We're a day late for hitting up our outreach committee to get this information. So, and they're really working on like how the communication gets delivered. So, we're seeing a lot of overlap in the committees and we need to set up time so that like advanced communication can meet with the outreach module work group, so that we can bridge those gaps, so that we're not coming up with two separate types of communications. And they're going in depth right now, both advanced communication and outreach on, determining how we really get buy-in from organizations that are not funded to do these projects. Is that an MOU? Is that, meeting with executive directors or program managers to really come out with an agreement that you will respond, you'll actively participate in meeting these needs. So it seems like a big hump right now, but we're confident that we can try to bridge some great relationships and get active participation amongst all of our service provider network agencies. So they're going deep into it, so I'm not going to go all the way there. But that's where advanced communication, they've also are meeting regularly, and I'm invited to all of these meetings. I really appreciate you guys keeping me in the loop, and I will make as many as I can. But if you guys need to have any have any questions or want to meet, let's try to pull something together as well. And thank you, Anthony, for bumping that up to the top of my email box.
Sending it now. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you, Katrina. Yeah, as I was saying, I love the work on the interfaces between modules. That's great stuff. All right. Well, I want to thank the working group leads and the working group members, all of you, for working on this, doing a great job. And keep up the good work, and we'll look forward to a check-in next time. All right, with that, we're going to go to Katrina and the CHSP updates.
Yes, thank you so much. We're going to put this around the room with my team. We did not have the time to make a beautiful presentation to you, so this will be a verbal update this time. We've been really in it with all of the various projects going on to include the solution set. So, brief overview, the 2025 housing inventory count and point-in-time count sheltered, this is what we do every year, has just been completed, and we're still waiting for organizations to provide us those counts. So we've had trainings in January, and this is what we do every single year. So what I've come to know since I've been with the coalition, as it is extremely hard to get organizations to provide us with this data. So with that being said, I'll punt it to CHSP team. If either Oliver or Nicole can jump into, you don't have to call organizations out by name, but it's just giving us like the amount and kind of where you're at.
We actually have a total of 99 programs that are getting pulled into our housing inventory and pick count this year, which is, as you can imagine, a lot of programs. we currently have 29 programs that have not responded. So they please, I'm sure a lot of you are already working with Oliver and Denise or Danny. So if you're getting emails from those folks, please make sure you're responding to them in a timely manner. Just to give you a little view of what our process is folks, an organization or a program will send in their form, which is a Google form this year, hopefully to help make things a little more streamlined and easy. You can't skip any questions that are required, so we're hoping that will help with some of the back and forth. But once we get those, we compare them to what we currently have in our HMIS system as to the number of beds and things that people have told us that they've got. And then we compare those, and if they do not match, we go back to you and we ask what's going on, and we try to figure out if it's an issue with the number of beds, or maybe we're not entering folks that have been housed into some of these programs, especially rapid rehousing. So just know that those emails are going out, and please respond to them as timely as possible, because some of the issues end up being very deep kind of data error type issues that Oliver needs to be able to work through. And so please make sure you're responding. Again, that would be from Denise, Danny, or Oliver. All three are working on this HIC pit. So please be on the lookout for those emails, as well as Katrina and I will be sending out to those who have yet to turn it in. So please be on the lookout for that as well.
And just want to also flag, having 99 programs in our community is outlandish. It's not a true representation of what we actually have. We are working with our organizations and with funders on this, because what we're seeing is people want to break out their one program, into 7 because of their funding streams. So this looks pretty wild on our housing inventory count when we report to the government, because they're like, okay, you have 99 programs and 300 beds, and occupancy was low, or whatever the case may be. So it looks pretty wild right now, and we're really trying to work that through with our organizations, and even meeting with direct funders to see if this is something that needs to be done, because we haven't done it like that before. But the past couple years, this is how organizations have been wanting to do it. So just keep that in mind. And also, our deadline is nearing to submit to HUD, and we want to make sure that we give ample time as to what discrepancies look like. In addition to what Nicole said about looking at what you submit on paper to what you have in HMIS, we also look at what you submitted last year and what changed from last year, because that's what we have to report out to the government. So timely responses is super important. This impacts our funding both ways, in all ways. So just keep that in mind. And then does anybody have any questions who's unfamiliar with our housing inventory count or point in time count? Sheltered. All right. I'm going to go to the next page. All right. I don't see anybody popping up, going off mute, or raising their hand. So I'll move on to HAP 5 RFP release. So I hope everybody is aware that our HAP 5 is on the verge of being fully released. We sent out LOIs, letters of intent, to the community to show your interest into this program, this funding stream. So we got about, I'm going to pass this one to Nicole because she knows exact numbers and can provide a little more update, but that letter of intent period has now closed, and we're moving on to next phase. Nicole, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Kat. So we actually received 27 letters of interest, which is amazing. That shows a really big need in the community. And our total HAP 5 award is $3.1 million. So I do not envy the rank and review panel, so we are very excited about that. We are taking the RFP to the Leadership Council on the 26th,
And then upon that approval, we will be releasing the RFP. As a reminder, if you did not submit an LOI, you are not eligible to apply for HAP 5. Abrina sent out bidders conference information and a calendar link. So please, if you did submit an LOI and you did not receive one of those, please reach out to myself or Abrina or the grants inbox and let us know so that we can get you that information. As a reminder, the bidders conference is mandatory. Excuse me. The bidders conference is mandatory, so please make sure you send at least a representative there so that we can check that off of the boxes. If anybody has any questions, please just reach out to myself or to the grants inbox to Abrina, and we will try our best to respond to your emails. Excuse me. I am getting over another cold.
Thank you, Nicole. I hope you feel better. Thanks for joining us for this meeting. I just want to flag you all. We are gearing up to apply for HAP 6. So let's thank the federal government for a moment, or state of California actually, for putting HAP 6 into the budget. You know, when HAP 1 came out, they said this is one-time funding, and we are now on our way to HAP 6. So we'll be connecting with San Benito County, Monterey County, much like we did for HAP 5, to start our collaborative application to apply for those funds and get additional funding into our community. Keep an eye out for updates on that and how you can participate in applying for those funding streams. I will like to share with you all our latest. I announced this in January, but really want to just also draw our eyes to this one more time. This is our 2024 CoC Awards. This year, we were able to fund all of our Tier 1 and Tier 2 projects, equating to $8.4 million in the community for transitional and permanent supportive housing projects. I think there may be a shelter in here. I'm not sure. But in addition to renewing our funding, we were able to get one of our bonus projects funded. Congratulations to Dorothy's Place and our new House of Peace permanent supportive housing expansion project. We just threw that one in the bucket. We did not know if we were going to be able to get that funding. All bonus projects are usually just, blind shot. We'll see if we get it. I think we had 3 projects go for bonus funding and 1 was funded. We just keep trying every year to see how we can do this. To get our bonus project and our Tier 2 projects funded, we really have to work hard on our collaborative application and really explaining what is going on in both counties and how our CoC is working together to address homelessness, not just the service provider network, but how we work with our jurisdictions and our community to get additional funds out there. So in addition to our Tier 1 and Tier 2 and bonus projects being funded, they also were funded a little more than they initially requested. So as we know with HUD, even though, this is our 2024 awards awarded in 2025, they may not start seeing this until the end of 2025 or 2026. So these funds are always a year or so behind, and we know that it's hard on organizations to have that upfront money to keep these projects going. So also keeping an eye out for those HAP funds and foundations, letting everybody know when Monterey County jumps off, is released, every organization in Monterey County should be participating in this. So Kurt has brought this up before. If you need support in that, the coalition is here. Kurt has offered his support if you have not ever applied. It's really a fundraising campaign. There's not much work that you're doing on a daily basis. You can, and we see, people are getting, Dorothy's Place came out with $100,000+, in donations. And there's opportunities for match funds, challenge funds, and sometimes they just give you additional funding or other awards. So keep your eye out on it. It's really something that's great that our community does for the community. So, Nicole, do you want to share our tentative calendar of events? This is not fully solidified, everybody. You guys are getting the sneak peek before it goes to the Leadership Council for final approval. So she'll share it with you here. It's also not beautiful, but here, this is it. This is what is happening. Bidders Conference will be on March 5th. And then we'll release the RFP to the community on the 27th. Bidders Conference will be the following Wednesday, and that is mandatory. If you don't show up to the Bidders Conference, you cannot apply. So I encourage you all to send somebody who can take notes for you, ask questions for you, and just represent your organization to be a part of that, because once that Bidders Conference is done, there's no way back in. Our staff will be holding office hours as well on the 14th, March 14th to the 21st. That is where you can ask all the questions about the RFP, get technical assistance for our application platform, and the team is just offering their support to ensure that you guys get as much as you need to apply and submit some competitive applications. As you know, last year we were over asked. I know there's a word for it, but applications came in, I think, like 3 million more than we even had. So it really comes down to the competitiveness of your application, the data that you have in your HMIS. If you are in HMIS for those new programs, you won't be weighted on that, but then that comes down to really how did you present your program, and do we understand it, and is this going to the community or is this going to salaries? So those are some criteria that our rank and reviews look at, and again, that's a sneak peek before it's approved by the Leadership Council next week.
One last thing before we go. In my conversation with Enrique this morning, I believe he has prepared a presentation on what's going on in San Benito County, and I'd like to try to do that next time. So 15-minute presentation. So Katrina, would you mind making a note when we discuss the agenda? Let's come back to that next time.
San Benito County.
Right.
Yes.
All right, and with that, great meeting today. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.